dark. You kept pushing on, but then you went too far. When your ship has sailed and all your dreams are lost, everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault. Just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life feels lemons, just hold me. Just hold me. Just hold me. You're stronger now than you ever been. You gotta leave now, it's time to catch the wind. You will climb up high and look through the clouds. And when you're feeling low, I know you'll bounce back. Oh, and just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just hold me. Just hold me. Just hold me. Just hold me.
One half of the season down and one half left to go, and that second half begins here tonight from Joliet, Illinois, and the Chicagoland Speedway here in the Western States Racing League. Good evening, everybody. My name is Frank Marchese. Thank you very much for making us a part of your evening. And here in just a moment, when he gets everything all sorted, Mike DeMoney running double duty here tonight. Just finished with the SCL race and now has jumped over here. We will speak with him in a moment. But again, starting this second half of the season here with the Western States Racing League, we are back in the Xfinity cars here tonight, so it is going to make it a little bit more difficult as far as tire saving, because this is a racetrack where you really want to push the car. It's a very nice feeling racetrack to get around. However, in these cars, you do have to be patient. You do run the risk of running those tires off in the very early stages of a run, and that could really set you up for a bad night overall if you're running the tires off the car in the early stages. We'll take a look at the points coming out of Daytona, and right now Jeff Schmeier currently holds a pretty nice points lead over Jeff Hollingsworth right now, just under 30 points. Just over 30 points, 31 points. Wayne Hutchison, Brian Barnes, Ryan Steele rounding out the top five in the point standings. And it has been a very close points race as this season has progressed, and there are a lot of great races, and great race tracks left to go here in this season. Just a couple of them that we will be seeing. Pocono coming up next week. We're going to be going to Nashville, Canadian Tire. We're also going to be going dirt racing at Eldora in the later stages of this season. So still plenty of great racing action to go through here tonight as we get this season, as we get set to go into the qualifying session here tonight. Session should just be switching over here momentarily, and there it goes. There's the flip. Session is now up and ready for qualifying as we get set to see who will jump out on track first. It looks as though it will be the 16 of David Weaver out and rolling first. Julian Ricci jumping out on track. Earl Weaver getting out there as well. Lyle Swearingen, who was the fastest in practice during the course of the last couple of hours, getting out on track, as well as is Bob Beltrami. So qualifying starting to get kicked off here again. 10-minute qualifying session here for this race tonight.
Well, Frank, I'm glad to join you here.
There we go. Oh, there is. There's our broadcast partner, Mike. Mike, welcome in, bud.
Yeah, good to be in here at Chicago. See how these guys handle these Xfinity cars.
See David Weaver about to complete his first lap. He will be the first one to put a time down here in qualifying. About half of the drivers in the session are on track at the moment. Julian Ricci, fastest of all so far, 31:15, a solid first lap out of that number one.
Yeah, Julian Ricci laying down a pretty decent lap. Chris Simard, Bob Beltrami. These guys all throwing down some pretty decent laps so far.
Chris Simard, same time as Julian Ricci, and Ricci a little bit quicker on the first half of the lap this time around, and we'll see Ricci will better his time, a 31.09 on the second lap. And here's Justin Michael in the number 87 Toyota Supra.
Bob Beltrami, second lap, jumps to the top of the board with a 31.08.
Solid run for Beltrami as he's starting to get back into the swing of things. Justin Michael, fastest of all the first half of the lap. He's going to go purple. Justin Michael to the pole at a 30.94. Chad Simpson coming across on his second lap, 31.03. So a great time there from Justin Michael.
Yeah, Justin Michael definitely showing up and putting down one of the best times we've seen so far, even from what I noticed for the little bit of practice I was here for.
Jeff Hollingsworth up to third at a 31.06. Second place man in points. So we see Charles Woods completing his second lap. A lot of these guys getting down on the flat there, coming through the tri-oval, and that's going to be quite a talking point during the race. Woods a little bit slower on his second attempt than he was on his first, and as you can see, through the speed of Mike Fisher, he has clapped the wall somewhere, and that second lap will not be a valid one for the number 4.
Yeah, took his lap and elected to come down pit lane there. 12 of Dennis Fuson out on track now, finishing up, or starting his second lap. 31.24 on his first one.
Lyle Swearingen not that far behind, and we saw how good Swearingen was at Daytona last time out. led the most laps. Unfortunately, came up 8/1000ths of a second short of taking the win to his teammate Butch Davis. And Fuson will jump up to 4th on his second lap. Swearingen will jump up to 2nd at a 30.98, only the second driver to go sub 31 second. And wouldn't you know it, I mean, we don't see Toyotas all that often. We got Toyota sitting 1, 2, 3 right now.
Yeah, when these guys, I think when these guys are in the truck, we don't see the Toyotas up there very much, but these Xfinity cars, apparently these drivers have done a little bit of research because they're 1, 2, 3 right now.
Doing a little research, doing a little bit of work as we see Will Fletcher out on track right now. 31.44 on his first lap, doing a little bit better this second time around. Barry Phil on track. Chad Stearns just completed his first lap. Wayne Fleet out on track as well, as Fletcher will jump up to 11th at a 31.22. So a good time there, just outside the top 10 for the 28.
Chad Stearns going to complete his second lap here. 31.47 on his first. See if he can improve that this time as I jump down to the apron.
Big improvement, P4.
Yeah.
Took almost a half a
31.
second off.
Yeah, 31.04.
Very good second lap there, and that's Toyota's 1, 2, 3, 4 right now as Wayne Fleet crossing the line to complete his qualifying run. 0.03 of a second slower, so the 31.45 for Wayne Fleet will stand. Carl Burke out on track, working on his second lap. 31.33 first time through.
Haven't seen Carl a lot this year.
This is his second race. Started the season at Daytona last week. And Burke will better his lap time and jump up to 17th in the process. Bentley Glazer stopping. That was just about to complete his first lap. Was Bentley. Ryan Steele on his first official lap as well, going slow. Kyle McCartney, watch out. McCartney probably could have gone a little slower.
Probably should have.
Oh, and so did Butch. Butch Davis goes sliding through 1 and 2. That's going to mire him in the back. His first lap was a 31.67. Second slowest of the drivers that have taken time so far.
Yeah, it seemed like everybody made a huge improvement on that second lap, but these guys aren't going to get that luxury after getting mired there in their second lap. Those guys look like the race I just got done calling with those street stocks. Get that back end loose and you sliding everywhere.
That's where you hone your craft for these. Start out in those street stocks. As here's Ryan Steele. Steele on his second lap. Good enough for 9th. 31.13. Kyle McCartney goes a 31.19. He'll go 13th quickest. And nobody else out on track right now. Bentley Glazer is still in pit road. However, he has not attempted to go out again.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it.
Still have a minute and a half left in this qualifying session, so there is still time. Brian Barnes, Darrell Scott, Eric Woods, Fred Williams, Keith Kellman, Paul Crumry, Nathan Brown, Jeff Schmeier, Ashley Valdetro have not put down qualifying times. And right now it's getting to the point in the session where they're only going to get one if they do get out at all.
Yeah, they better get out right now because you're going to have to fly to even get one done.
Yeah, this is not looking like it is going to be any more qualifying attempts, so that will send Justin Michael to the pole. What was an absolutely blistering lap time for the number 87. Not bad for your first race of the season.
Nope, that 87's used to being out front there.
That number certainly does have a couple of wins under its belt here in this series. Couple of titles as well as we get down into the final 10 seconds, and there will be no way that anyone will be getting a lap in here, so that will do it for this qualifying session. And with that said, we'll take a look at the starting grid here for tonight's race. Justin Michael with a time of 30.937 takes the pole, with Lyle Swearingen starting to his outside on row number 1. Chad Simpson and Chad Stearns will make up row number 2. Dennis Fuson and Jeff Hollingsworth in row 3. Bob Beltrami and Julian Ricci will make up row number 4, with Ryan Steele and Charles Woods in row number 5. Chris Samard and Dan Brazington will sit in row number 6. Row 7 will see Kyle McCartney and Will Fletcher, Christian Bishop and David Weaver in row number 8. Mike Fisher and Ross Rawlings in row 9. Carl Burke and Earl Weaver will make up row number 10.
Row number 11, Angelo Espo and Wayne Fleet. Barry Phil and James Campbell in row 12. Row 13, Butch Davis and Dustin Burns. Bentley Glazer, Brian Barnes is 14. Row 15, Nathan Brown, Paul Krumrei, Keith Kelman and Daryl Scott, 31st, 32nd. Eric Woods, Jeff Schmeier, Ashley Vedetero, and Fred Williams round out the field here.
Everyone from Glazer on down, not setting qualifying times, will start via their iRating. Taking a look at weather conditions here for today, just past 7:30 p.m. in sim time. Not a lot of wind, just 2 miles an hour. 77-degree ambient temperature, 80-degree track temperature. Ambient temperature might remain the same, but the track temperature should be going down ever so slightly, giving these guys more grip as the night progresses.
Yeah, that is going to be something to pay attention to a little bit, so you take your time earlier in the race, and as the temperature goes down and the tire grip goes up, you'll see these guys start making some moves to the front.
Now this is interesting. Jeff Schmeier did not grid up. Fred Williams and Ashley Valdetro did not either. So we have 33 cars rolling off on the grid, and Schmeier has not yet gotten into his pit stall if he were going to pit start here tonight. So that's a big-time developing story right now for the current championship leader.
Yeah, it looks like he is having technical difficulties and will not make the race from what it's looking like here.
Well, he may not make the race start. If he gets in the first couple of laps and starts rolling, could limit the damage, get a couple of cautions, and get out there and get rolling without losing too much time. Speaking of losing too much time, Chad Stearns has left a massive gap on that outside lane as these cars roll through 3 and 4 here for the first time.
Pace car is in there.
Yep, here we go, getting set. 107 laps here from Chicagoland Speedway. We are green. And a great start off the inside by Justin Michael. Chad Simpson pushing away in the 46.
46 making a huge move up the track there just in front of Swearingen.
Dennis Fuson there in the middle. A couple of cars scraping up against the wall down the back stretch as Chad Simpson looks to that outside, but it's going to be Justin Michael taking the first lap.
Simpson to the high side and get that run off, it looks like, and clear Michael here.
Take the race. We'll take the race.
Swearingen going down to the inside.
Yep, there he goes. 68 of Lyle Swearingen. He has been up front here since joining the series about a month or so ago. One of the guys that you will see up towards the front all night long. Julian Ricci moving up as well in that number 1. Between Jeff Hollingsworth in front of him and Dennis Fuson behind him. Kyle McCartney battling side by side with Christian Bishop on the inside right now.
Yeah, Christian Bishop won a couple road course races.
Winner back at Mid-Ohio earlier this season. And I'm sure he will be very, very happy in about, a month and a half time when we go to Mosport, Canadian Tire.
Yeah, that's definitely a spot you're going to want to look for him. Kyle McCartney down to his inside, going to try and make that pass down low.
Both of these guys ran 1 and 2 at Mid-Ohio for a vast majority of the race. As Julian Ricci looking to the outside of Chad Stearns. Justin Michael has fallen to 4th now. Lyle Swearingen has gotten out to the front. Jeff Hollingsworth now running in 3rd. Now there are 2 distinct teams that we have seen, and for those of you who have followed Sim Racer's Edge, you will know that FBR Motorsports and OGR, 2 big team rivals in that series. That's now starting to trickle back on over here. OGR has had this place to themselves. Now FBR coming in and really starting to ruin the party for them. Hollingsworth running with OGR, as well as guys like Charles Woods and Bentley Glazer driving for OGR. These FBR guys have come in and completely ruined their party.
Yeah, they've been running up front, contending for wins, and if not for the win, been up there inside the top 10 most of the time we've seen them.
There's 2 teams trading wins over these last couple of weeks. Jeff Hollingsworth taking the win at Hickory 2 weeks ago. Meanwhile, FBR dominating at Daytona. Look a little bit further back. That's Will Fletcher to the inside of Julian Ricci, as Ricci's starting to fall back a little bit. About to fall into the clutches of Dan Brazington in that number 29.
Yeah, Ricci had a heck of a qualifying effort. Qualified inside the top 10, but now it's trending backwards, sitting P13 at the moment. Going to get probably freight trained if that outside line comes in like they were.
Ricci had gotten as high as +2. He's now really fallen off over these last couple laps, and that could be why. That was a big slide coming through 3 and 4 there for the number 1, and almost right up into the door of the 91 of Ross Rawlings.
Now it's back to that high side.
Running on board here with Julian Ricci. Currently sitting in 17th. We saw him as high as 7th not that long ago. Trying to use that outside line, unfortunately not to his advantage. A couple more side-by-side battles, or battles getting close at least. Bob Beltrami in 7th trying to keep both Chris Simard and Ryan Steele at bay. Steele fell back on the start a little bit, but is now starting to charge his way up. Christian Bishop, has really moved up from his starting spot up to 5th. Now up 5, I should say, up at 10th. now up 6 in ninth as he noses ahead of Ryan Steele.
Yeah, he's been running really well. Didn't have the qualifying effort he was probably looking forward to. The other guy that you need to watch is that 43 of Butch Davis, up 11 positions, sitting P14 after he had a little issue on his second lap.
Nathan Brown ran 4 laps here at the start of this race and has not parked it, so he is done for the night. Fred Williams, Ashley Valdetro did not start this race, nor did Jeff Schmeier. So that points lead could either, one, completely evaporate, especially with Jeff Hollingsworth running up in second place right now, or it could be gone going into Pocono next week.
Definitely could. The nice thing about this league is you really don't know how the points are going to shake out till you get to the last couple races of the season. You want to stay close, but they do have a couple provisionals they can get, or a couple drop leagues. So we'll see how that shakes up the points as well.
Boy, one of those 3 was about to use this as a drop week as Christian Bishop, Justin Michael, and Chris Samard getting very close with each other, 3 wide coming out of turn 2. A lot of multi-groove racing here, and this was one of the things that about a year ago iRacing really touted that they feel as though they got it right. And ever since that update, it has been very, very right for them. One driver who has had everything go right his way so far, Butch Davis, up into 13th position after his 25th place starting spot.
Yeah, like I said, he got that first lap of qualifying, then his second lap got a little bit loose and caught that wall, but that has not slowed him down once we got to the race and he got that car set up in his race trim. He is up 12, currently running P13.
So he is having a very solid time, about to go 3 wide here. Ryan Steele to the bottom, Dan Brazington to the top. Slides in behind Dan Brazington.
Kyle McCartney down to the inside of Bishop again. Try and make that pass once again.
And does. Oh, Bob Beltrami got really loose coming off at turn 4. Had to save it all the way to the grass. And he's going to lose about 6 or 7 spots. But as I typically say, I'll take losing the spots over losing a race car.
Yeah. That could have been a disaster, especially if he would have lost it and then slid back up in front of half the field here.
It's Beltrami's 3rd race back since returning from hip surgery. First race was Hickory, which God bless him. Ran fine at Daytona last week and now rolling once again. Not missing anything up at the front. Lyle Swearingen is about a half a second lead on Jeff Hollingsworth. Chad Simpson's right there as well as the cautions come out. Figure out where that caution was.
Look at Mike Fisher.
It's Mike Fisher in the 4.
Looks like he might have got loose or something.
He's battling with Bob Beltrami. Oh, yep. Door-to-door contact. That wasn't with Beltrami. That was with Will Fletcher in 28. And that was enough to trigger the first caution of the night. Well, I was about to say the trio of Swearingen, Hollingsworth, and Simpson were about 2 seconds ahead of Chad Stearns. That has well and truly been erased.
Yeah, that is definitely not something they want to see, as Hollingsworth is heading into the pits already.
And he's the only one. Everybody else staying out. Will Fletcher comes in. Bentley Glazer bails out. Beltrami, David Weaver, Espo, Barnes. If you're Hollingsworth, you have to abort and go fuel. No, I guess not.
That'd be hard to make that decision like that.
Well, I was going to say abort and go fuel only. At least if you're coming down pit road, gain a little bit of an advantage. Save the set of tires and just fill yourself up with fuel. But I guess if you're down there, may as well, right?
Yeah, might as well. I mean, these guys have four total sets of tires, so.
Now, we have been to a racetrack similar to this. The second round of the season was at this circuit's sister track, Kansas Speedway. Ran 117 laps that night. Only 4 cautions. So this is going to be a race where long green flag runs are going to matter, and you want to take a guess as to who won that race?
Who won that race?
That would be the man sitting in third right now, Chad Stearns.
Oh yeah, that last lap pass there, yeah.
Stearns, McCartney, and Hollingsworth were your top 3 that night. As we are doubling up and getting set to go racing here once again. Chicago and Pocono will be this little block for the Xfinity cars. It'll be 3 weeks worth of truck racing, but only 2 races. Homestead Miami Speedway on the 4th of April. Then an off week before we go to Nashville on April 18th. And that will be the last off week of the season before we hit Memorial Day, before the final race at Vegas. As we get set to go back to racing here tonight, Lyle Swearingen leads them down. Chad Simpson leading away on the outside line. Both of those cars getting a very good jump out into turn number 1, side by side.
Side by side they go. And Chad Stearns was going to see about floating up, but elected to just move right back down, not let Chris Simard make his way down to that inside line and make the pass.
There's Simard running in that 4th position. Dennis Fuson there as well. Now for Dennis Fuson, I'm not sure if I would probably be looking at somebody for copyright or gimmick infringement. One of the memes going around in the racing world right now is that Porsche from the 12 Hours of Sebring that had the shark mouth on the nose. Dennis had that first. I would be contacting Porsche. Or have you not seen it?
I have not seen that one.
Okay, so I will send you I will send you a picture during our first break, and then that will actually be funny to you. As Butch Davis goes flying around the outside, trying to get past
McCartney
Michael.
Gets loose.
Boy, Michael, you're right on that. Kyle McCartney getting loose out of turn 2, forcing Michael down the hill. Now McCartney pushing Butch Davis and Ross Rawlings up into the corner. Rawlings and McCartney make contact.
3 wide. Rawlings, Hollingsworth, and McCartney there.
He's battling just around the top 10. Kyle McCartney, as it stands right now, is running in 10th. 3 wide just in front of him between Hollingsworth, again, who's on fresh tires. Sliced his way through this field nicely.
That didn't take him any time to get back up inside that top 10. Now looking down to the inside of Ross Rollins and Butch Davis.
My assumption would be he started in either the late teens or the high 20s.
I believe you are correct there.
And he's already up to 6th since we've gone back to green. So just an unbelievable run, and that shows you what those fresh tires will do. And while that's a nice advantage to have right now if you're Jeff Hollingsworth, if it comes down to a late caution and everyone comes down and takes tires and you don't, well, I hope you enjoyed that advantage earlier in the race.
And down to the inside he goes.
Oh, in the back, Ryan Steele. Caution is out.
Ryan Steele, Carl Burke, look like Christian Bishop as well.
Yeah, there were a couple of cars ping-ponging off of each other back there. Steele was just the one I saw go sideways. Yeah, Bishop gets loose off of 2. So does McCartney. It looks like Bishop went to correct and get back in the racing line, hit Will Fletcher, and then Fletcher got into Steele. So it looked like from my vantage point at least. We'll see from Fletcher's. Oh no, that was Steele trying to shoot the gap. Thought he was clear.
Yeah, he saw McCartney get loose in front of him and didn't want to be where he was. He thought there was enough room to squeeze down between them.
Unfortunately was not. So we'll take a look and see who comes down pit road now. Pretty much everyone who didn't before. So Lyle Swearingen will lead the parade down pit road.
These guys up front are going to be on about 10 lap older tires here. Looks like a few pitted that first time. Looks like 10 is what we got.
And Swearingen will win the race off of pit road. Chad Stearns will come off of pit road second. We are 28 laps into this race. Jeff Hollingsworth, by way of pit strategy, finds himself out in front. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back. You are watching the Western States Racing League right here on Sim Racing Media. Getting set to go back to green flag racing here. Lap 30 of 107 from Chicagoland Speedway. Jeff Hollingsworth out in front. Green flag back in the air. And a great jump by the number 97.
Yeah, Hollingsworth did not waste any effort putting over a half a second on Bob Beltrami back in second. David Weaver up for third. And Barry Phil sitting inside the top 5.
Great run for him. Right now, Barry Phil running in the 4th position. Pit strategy getting him to the position that he is in. Lyle Swearingen started in 8th on this restart, working immediately right to the outside of the 46 of Earl Weaver. Now looking at the back end of the 24 of Daryl Scott. Wonder where Daryl Scott's from.
I don't know. From his car there. But we saw Jeff Hollingsworth cut his way through the field from about 18th up to inside the top 10 pretty quick on those fresh tires. Looks like Swearingen's going to be able to do that here in a minute as well.
As Swearingen really sliding up right in front of that 24 of Daryl Scott. Now sets his sights on Barry Phil, David Weaver, Bob Beltrami, and Jeff Hollingsworth in that order, at least as far as he's concerned. Beltrami has stopped the bleeding towards Jeff Hollingsworth. Beltrami, as Mike had mentioned, was 0.6 of a second behind the 97 going into turn 1 on the restart. He's now just 0.7, so he's lost only 1/10. As now Chad Simpson works his way to the inside of Daryl Scott, as all 3 of these FBR cars moving up the field in unison.
Yeah, they got hooked up there. Oh, and we are under caution.
Caution is out.
I think it might be a big one there.
Looking like it is. Oh, that's Paul Crumry and Wayne Fleet that are up in the wall. Bentley Glazer looks fine. There's Julian Ricci damaged on the apron. That looks like Carl Burke in the 52 crab walking down there on the apron. It is.
I'll say Glazer, Bishop, Fleet, Burke.
Let's take a look and see what happened. 3 wide. Oh, Fleet came right down across. Oh.
That was a hard hit for Ricci there.
Hard hit for Crumry as well. Couple of guys getting big hits in that. Carl Burke, Christian Bishop catching it as well. There's the initial contact, and then, my goodness, Justin Michael, the pole sitter. Dan Brazington caught up in it. Let's take it from on board Paul Crumry here. There's not a lot you could do there.
Definitely not. I mean, you basically got slammed, and there's nowhere for you to go.
Whew. We could see a little bit more in this camera angle than Ricci was able to see. Still not a fan of what he saw. See what happened with Christian Bishop coming into this corner. There's the incident. And just caught by Brazington.
Yeah, almost made it through. Just was able to catch a little bit of it there.
One more time from Wayne Fleet from the nose. But Michael just barely got clipped in that 87. So that will be caution number 3. As we had mentioned earlier this season at this place's sister track, Kansas, only 4 cautions for 117 laps. 28 drivers there that day. We started with 33. We've had 32 for a majority of the race. Big story coming out of tonight, though. Jeff Schmeier, some technical issues with his computer, unable to start, and if everything stands as is with Jeff Hollingsworth up at the front, he will lose the points lead going into Pocono next week.
Yeah, definitely not a very good situation if you are Jeff Schmeier running so well this year, especially after playing second fiddle basically to Bentley Glazer.
As he has done over these last couple of seasons, built out a nice little 21-point lead over Jeff Hollingsworth in the points, and as it stands right now, he stands to fall as far back as fourth in points after this. So the first half champion not off to a good start here in the second half. This will most certainly be a drop week for him. His previous worst finish was Talladega, 13th.
Yeah, like I said, he has ran really well this season. And it's just kind of heartbreaking the way that his you have these technical issues. I mean, I guess just on race day you have issues as well as the pace car gets in. We'll see if Hollingsworth is able to get that half-second jump that he had last time, or if Beltrami's going to stay with him. And it looks like Beltrami stays a little bit closer, but Hollingsworth still gets a huge jump.
From just over half a second on the last restart to just under half a second this one, Swearingen pins it right down on the white line, as do his other FBR teammates, as those three look to hunt down the OGR leader of Jeff Hollingsworth.
Yeah, last week we saw those guys hook up and they just started to drive away from the field. We were anticipating a heck of a finish and we're kind of left a little disappointed, but this week they have found each other again and are working their way towards the front.
Disappointed not by the finish, but by the netcode that destroyed the finish from what it could have been. A couple of cars off in the back. Justin Michael around again. Angelo Espo and Earl Weaver, it would appear. So after a good 28-lap run to start this race, we have found ourselves firmly in the cautions breed cautions category. So we'll see what happened with Earl Weaver here. Ooh, Michael caught the wall. And then Espo goes flying by.
Flying through.
Dan Brazenton catches a piece as well. Ooh, that was a hard hit for Espo. Brazenton going through the grass to avoid. Bentley Glazer going through the grass to avoid. As we sit now on caution number 4. I think we'll take another break. I think we'll finish that first break. We'll be right back. You're watching the Western States Racing League right here on SRM. Just back under green flag racing here at Chicagoland Speedway. Jeff Hollingsworth with Lyle Swearingen on fresh tires coming up directly behind. Well, that jump there, Mike's getting shorter and shorter every lap, every restart. Look at this battle out here in the back. We're about 4 wide going down the back straightaway.
Yeah, Kyle McCartney into that outside wall. Brian Barnes, Mike Fisher, every which way, but apparently none of them got too loose to catch each other up. All able to save it there.
Now it's going to be really, really interesting here because the drivers who pit on lap 27 are thoroughly mixed in now with the drivers that pit on lap 18. So you've got guys on 9-lap fresher tires coming through this field, and because we haven't had too many green flag laps, that's still a pretty significant advantage, as here's Lyle Swearingen going for the race lead.
Yeah, Swearingen goes down, going to try and pass Hollingsworth down on the inside. But not only that, Frank, we also have guys that pitted on lap 33, 34 that are starting to make their way back through the field as well. Julian Ricci, Christian Bishop. So definitely something to watch out for.
Lyle Swearingen had a rough couple of weeks to start here in this series. Finished 5th back at Texas, did not lead. Finished 10th at Iowa, did not lead. Missed Hickory, but he has really come alive here over these last couple of weeks, leading the most laps and finishing 2nd at Daytona. And right now has the most laps led out of anyone in this race. And Bob Beltrami hanging around there as well in the number 14. He was quick in practice, still showing how quick he is in the race, even with tires that he came in on lap 18.
Yeah, trying to spread those tires out a little bit, it looks like. But he's still able to maintain his position. Hollingsworth still battling Swearingen down on the inside. Side by side, they go through the corner again.
Middle lane has taken a lot of precedent here at Chicago, and that will finally prevail for Lyle Swearingen. Chris Simard trying to battle with Chad Stearns right now. Stearns, 1 win on the season. Started in 4th here tonight, now back down to 9th. And we confirmed over the break, Mike, you have seen that picture, so does Dennis Fuson have a gimmick infringement claim against Porsche?
I would try it, I mean.
Good nerve.
What else can I do? Can they tell you no? I mean, come on. It'll be all right.
Well,
it looks like Brian Barnes.
Yep, Brian
Keith Kelman, maybe.
There's a lot of guys back here. Keith Kelman backwards. James Campbell. It's like the one of Julian Ricci missing the front half of his car again. Dustin Burns possibly in the 04. Or was that Dustin Burns? There
Brian Barnes went through. Yeah, there you go. Dustin Burns.
I thought I saw 04 on the top, and then I couldn't find him on the overlay. I'm like, is he even in this race? I saw him.
Well, that's the other thing. Sitting here looking through the numbers, after calling this race. Ooh, looks like the 18 got into the 24 and might have got the 1 into the wall.
Yeah, just like that looked like
just a little bit of bumps.
It's a big congregation up there by the outside wall in turn 2. See if we can see what happened, or if we're in the incident already. Yep, here they come. 18 pushes the 24. There's the 1 getting it. The 4. Paul Crumry is going to get about as little. Oh my goodness! Dustin Burns flipping over.
Landed on his wheels.
85 of Woods getting a nice little bit of it as well. See if we can see this from Eric Woods' perspective here. Just right on through. Ooh. Well, there you go.
Dustin Burns definitely took flight for a little while there.
I'm trying to find him here. Let's. And now with no wheels. Back it down, back it down. Oh, and he almost Days of Thundered it. Right up until the point when Richie spun back out again. So that will be caution number 6. Some guys have come back down pit road here on lap 50. As a matter of fact, a vast majority of drivers did. They took this time to come down pit road. David Weaver, Christian Bishop, and Ryan Steele are the only 3 that did not come down pit road, at least from the front group. And those are drivers on 3 completely different tire and fuel strategies. Weaver, lap 18. Bishop, lap 34. Steele, lap 40. And then the rest of the field behind him just now on lap 50.
Yeah, that is brave if you're David Weaver there, because those guys have, 32 lap fresher tires. So you got to be prepared to get basically run over almost.
Does have 2 sets of tires, though, which will certainly help him out. Drivers coming in here with 4 total tonight. The tires they qualified on plus 3. There are some guys in here that are already down 2 sets. Most of them are down 2, so there's really only 1 set left on the wall for a lot of these guys. And unfortunately, with the amount of caution laps we've had here tonight, it's normally that would be an issue, but it's not looking like it's going to be tonight.
No, definitely does not look like it. So we'll see how these guys get stacked up here, because looks like Wayne Fleet didn't come in either. He's down in 13th. Last pitted on lap 33, but other than that, looks like almost everybody pitted lap 50. So
got a great week of racing still left coming up. Unfortunately, some behind-the-scenes differences have led to Thunderclap no longer being a part of the SRM family, so we wish them the best on what we're sure is going to be a fantastic season for them. But we will be back on Thursday with the Svenska E-Racing League in round number 4 at Indianapolis Motor Speedway for the LMP2s. Also have the Monsters of Speed series on Friday night, so a lot of good racing still left to come. Not just this week, but tonight, as David Weaver peels away. A rather good start there for that 16. Figured he would have spun the tires with how old they were. Did not.
no, it looked like he was able to hang on just enough, but Christian Bishop looks like he's going to get swallowed up pretty quick here by Lyle Swearingen as he goes down to the inside. He's going to pass Steele and Bishop 2 for 1 there.
Oh, he's sideways is Swearingen. He keeps it under control. He's going to lose a couple of spots, though, as Swearingen went from the outside to the bottom on the back straightaway and lost a couple of spots because of it.
He was carrying a ton of speed, thought he was going to be able to make that pass, and he just got loose.
Justin Michael done for the night as well. Add him to the list of retirees. 3 did not start here tonight. Only Nathan Brown started and did not finish. As Ryan Steele pushing right up to the corner. And right now, the 3 drivers who started up at the front are holding their weight right now.
Yeah, don't look now, though. Jeff Hollinsworth looks like he's starting to close in on the back of Ryan Steele, and Steele was just able to hold him off and get down to that inside line before Hollinsworth was able to.
And again, David Weaver last came into pit on lap 18. It's currently lap 56. He's still out in front of this thing David Weaver getting some cheeky laps led here, and he will lead that one as well.
Now Steele's trying to use all the racetrack he can, goes clear down on the apron. As you see, Weaver goes way high.
Ooh.
Almost comes down into Steele, 3 wide behind him.
There was a lot that went on there. Bishop almost getting down into Jeff Hollingsworth. Steele still trying to push on Weaver. Weaver, I think, caught the wall coming out of 4, or he really jerked the wheel to keep it off of it.
Yep, Bishop's closing in again on the back bumper of Weaver, as he's got Chad Simpson.
Chad Simpson in the 46. Showing us number 7, but he's 46 on track is Simpson. 3
almost
wide.
4 wide.
Boy, oh
Almost
boy.
4 wide. Oh my gosh.
These FBR Motorsports guys have definitely turned up the aggression and the interesting racing. We are 4 wide now. Boy, Bishop backs out of it. Weaver keeps the spot. Those were Weaver's first laps led on the season, by the way, in the number 16. So congratulations to him. Starting the second half of the season off on a good foot. Get some laps led. Boy, it puts Davis at Bishop.
Bishop is just like right in the middle and just can't seem to get away from it. He tries to go high and can't get a run, so then he tries to go back down to the middle and then just gets stuck between cars.
He's got one of 2 mindsets right now. Either, my God, this is fun, or for the love of it all, just go away. Leave me alone for 2 seconds. Let me gather my thoughts, please.
Bob Beltrami working his way back up inside the top 10 as well here.
Beltrami up to 8th. Ross Rawlings looking to the inside of Ryan Steele. He will take that 3rd position, will Ross Rawlings. Chad Simpson and Butch Davis eagerly awaiting their opportunity. Simpson going to the inside of Steele. Butch Davis doing the same.
See if Davis can get high Steele this time. Beltrami clear down on the apron, trying to get as much speed out of that car as he can.
That's what we were saying during the open. Guys were going to go down there. It's a very interesting game because that banking transition is not smooth. So especially on older tires, that becomes a very dangerous game, number 1. And number 2, when it gets down to later in the race, there's no rule saying the driver on your outside has to let you up.
Yeah, there definitely is not. Usually hear about that more when you go to Phoenix in that dog leg, but
yep,
same rules apply here. When you go down there, you can get stuck down there and not be able to get out and oval that corner just a little bit better.
Jeff Hollingsworth currently out in front by 0.6 of a second over Lyle Swearingen. He's a little bit quicker than Lyle right now. Ross Rawlings 1.1 seconds behind. He's got Chad Simpson and Butch Davis breathing down his neck right now. Chris Samard there as well in the 77.
Yeah, Ross Rollins and Butch Davis there on screen. Ross Rollins up 15, Butch Davis up 20. So they are definitely moving up through this field as we get closer to the 3/4 way mark here.
One guy who really has not moved his way up the field the way we thought he would have was Bentley Glazer there in that Lucas Oil number 32. He's been involved in a couple of incidents that put him in the back. Started from the back after pulling his typical no qualifying game. But he has not found it easy to get through the field here tonight as he's now stuck behind Earl Weaver, Will Fletcher, Carl Burke is there, as is Dan Brazington.
Now he's still he moved up a few spots, but he spent a ton of time on pit lane. He's already made 7 pit stops in this race, so he's been caught up in several incidents too.
Between incidents and taking on fuel, that's by far and away the most pit stops anyone has made tonight. Up into 15th right now, making all of these passes right here. And another guy who is fallen to the back, Kyle McCartney, has just not looked comfortable at all tonight here in that 22. He has been leaning every which way, has gotten into the fence a couple of times, been loose. I mean, that 38 has not looked friendly. The 22, pardon me, has not looked all that friendly for the 38-year-old. That's where I got the 38 from.
Yeah, it definitely has not. He's been, when he gets stuck in traffic, it's that snap-on Toyota there just gets looser and loose, and he winds up in the wall or leaning on other drivers. But he is he's usually one of the faster drivers. Mike Fisher now.
Mike Fisher getting around Ryan Steele. Steele just falling now to 13th position. Christian Bishop, his last pit stop was on lap 34, restarted second. He is just now falling out of the top 10 as Charles Woods looks to go around him on the inside in the Purple Heart Homes number 40. Purple Heart Homes, one of the major sponsors for the OGR camp. Seen it on Tim Bates' car this year. We saw it a lot during SRE Season 5 last year. And Woods will clear Bishop.
Bishop's not going away, though. He was trying to battle back up there on that high side. Just that middle line seems to be the place to be.
Christian Bishop holding on tight right now. Ooh, big loose. Not car tight, holding on tight. Trying to hold on tight to the position. Clearly not car tight. But he will lose it to Mike Fisher. Battle up towards the front as Butch Davis gets around Ross Rawlings for third. He's also gotten around Chad Simpson as well. So Hollingsworth 1.1 seconds ahead of Lyle Swearingen. Swearingen about 2 seconds ahead of this battle of 6.
Yeah, Hollingsworth and Swearingen has basically checked out.
Hollingsworth still about a tenth to a half a tenth faster than Lyle Swearingen per lap, as we'll take a look at the lap time history between these two. And you can see the red number being that Hollingsworth has been quicker. It's how much time he's been putting on Swearingen each lap. And he'll put about a tenth and a half on him this time.
Yeah, it looks like Swearingen's losing time because to Hollingsworth, but he's also Crumry looks like he just saw him coming up and got out of the way. But it looks like Davis is closing in on Swearingen there as well.
Butch Davis, fastest car in the top 5 that last lap. Only cars faster would have been the 05 of Chad Stearns. 32.31 to Butch Davis's 31.37. As Ross Rawlings looking to the outside of Chad Simpson.
Yeah, Chad Simpson and Rollins side by side battling it out here. Chris Simard sitting back trying to figure out which way he wants to go here.
Chad Stearns rolling away on that bottom line as I believe Lyle Swearingen is... Swearingen and Crumry may have gotten into each other. So I thought I saw a puff of smoke up in front, and definitely Crumry going through the grass. Try to see what happened there with Crumry. Ooh, Swearingen caught the
Swearingen
wall.
got loose.
That wasn't PK. That was Swearingen that got it there.
Yeah, it looks like Swearingen just got loose and slid up the track right in front of Crumrine. Crumrine just tried to avoid him.
And now Swearingen's at a point where he's just got to hold on until the next pit stop to where he can take his fast repair, because that car is not going to have anywhere near the speed that he had before right now with that right side damage.
No, it's definitely not. As you see him just falling back through the field.
They're at a big let off, I think, to let both Stearns and Simard get around him before going into turn one.
Beltrami, Fuson by as well.
1.5 seconds back to Mike Fisher, so Swearingen has a moment to try to suss out what's going on with his car. As there's Fisher and Woods. Bentley Glazer right there as well. This is 10th, 11th, and 12th right here. A couple of cars have gone pit side. Lap 72, Christian Bishop came down pit road in the 26. Paul Crumrye, just a couple of circulations ago, came down pit road as well, as we're seeing Ross Rawlings on the outside trying to defend from Chris Simard.
Yeah, Chris Simard caught up to him and is now going to try and, I was going to try and look to the outside, but Ross Rawlings slid up and kind of closed that door there.
Darrell Scott down pit road as well in the number 24.
Yeah, Butch Davis, now that he got around Rollins, he is looking to close in here. That gap was 2.5 seconds or so, and now it's getting closer to 2.
Look at the time delta. It's gone down over the last 5 laps or so. Gotten down under 2 seconds now, as Hollingsworth looks to try to maintain that lead over Butch Davis. And even still, Davis not the fastest car on track. That goes to the car behind him, Chad Simpson. A little bit quicker.
These guys are, I was going to say, these guys are hooked up and making a little bit of ground there. Ross Rollins goes clear up to the wall almost, and Chris Simard in the middle with Chad Stearns looking inside force at 3 wide.
With everything kind of at a status quo right now, we'll take one final break. We'll be right back with the conclusion here of the 11th round of season 48 for the Western States Racing League here at Chicagoland Speedway. Jeff Hollingsworth out in front by 1.8 seconds, but the gap is closing. We'll see who takes the checkered flag right after this. Tuesday night Xfinity racing action, Western States Racing League, round 11 of season 48. Jeff Hollingsworth out in front here. However, his lead is dwindling. When we went to break, it was 1.8 seconds. It is now 1.2. Back to Butch Davis and Chad Simpson. Chad Stearns still battling with Chris Samard. A couple of guys with fresh tires working their way in through the mix. This has been quite the entertaining second half of this race, Mike.
Yeah, it definitely has. The first half was a little bit marred up there, but the second half has been nothing but action-packed. We've had side-by-side racing 3 wide. We've had several different strategies come in here, and Butch Davis is looking to improve 24 positions by the time this race is over.
Stearns and Simpson battling side by side for the final step on the podium. As we mentioned, still a lot of great racing left to come here over the course of the rest of this week. Found out during the break, the SCL Super Truck Series will be taking center stage the rest of the season. On Wednesday night to replace the Thunderclap Series. Thursday afternoon, the Svenska E-Racing League, and Friday, the
Monsters of Speed Racing League.
That was it. Thank you.
Yep. They are definitely bringing something different on Friday night. They've got the, where are they? Oh my gosh.
Well, you were ready with half the information at least.
Oh my god. I just went blank. Oh, Suzuka International. So it's something going to be a little different.
There you go. That's about that. Then on Saturday, I think we're going to do a double dip on Saturday. You guys enjoyed, and I, goodness knows I enjoyed it, last Thursday night when we did the F1 Manager stream. Yeah, we're going to do it again. Round number 2 of the season, the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. I think we're going to do around 3 p.m. Eastern time on Saturday is when we'll do that. We're going to try to aim for every Thursday night to do that. Unfortunately, my work schedule will not allow that this week. So I think we're going to push it to Saturday because you guys had so much fun. I had a ton of fun doing that, and you guys seem to enjoy finishing behind me last week. So we're gonna do it again. And then after that stream is over, be sure to stay tuned for Dynasty Racing League, because I believe they will be at Dover. They're running the new Gen 4 Cup cars. And then the Virtual American Short Track Tour to round off the week, as well as Sunday Night NASCAR from the Circuit of the Americas. So it's still a lot of great racing action to come, as this battle here for third has gotten quite a bit closer. Chad Simpson still holding on. Chad Stearns just behind him. Chris Samard there as well. The battle for the lead has now dropped within a second. Jeff Hollingsworth losing ground to Butch Davis as the caution comes out.
Oh, if you are Jeff Hollingsworth, you did not want to see that.
Absolutely not. Like Eric Woods in the 85 would have been the cause of that. Take a look and see what happened to Woods. Battling with Earl Weaver. Barry Phil hooked him.
Yep.
Well, I made that interesting. Now it's the pit road game.
Yeah. Everybody come down, or all the leaders come down anyway, probably?
I would think so. It's been about 50 laps on this set of fuel and tires. Last time these guys were down pit road was lap 50. Crossing the line to start lap 97 here. So Hollingsworth leads them down. Christian Bishop down and away. He got in the free pass and did not stop in his pit box there, did Bishop. Butch Davis rolling. Butch Davis will get out ahead. Butch Davis wins the race off of pit road. Chad Simpson and Chad Stearns all jump Jeff Hollingsworth.
Swearingen's in there a little longer than he probably wanted to, it looks like. He's back in 13th now.
Either repair the damage or take the fast repair from him hitting the wall earlier on tonight. Around lap 75. That was the last thing that Jeff Hollingsworth wanted to see, is an FBR front row lockout here on what could be the final restart of the night.
Isn't that about what we saw last week?
That was exactly what we saw last week. A lot of guys will be getting free passes here. Because they came into pit during the green flag cycle. Dan Brazington, Wayne Fleet, Keith Kellman, Dustin Burns, James Campbell, Darrell Scott, Christian Bishop, among others. Now we will see what in the world this final restart, or what we hope will be the final restart, has in store for us.
Yeah, Butch Davis has been the faster car most of the night, it seems like here. Jeff Hollingsworth led quite a few laps there towards the end and had that huge lead. He'll start 4th, so you have a couple guys in between them that have been fighting pretty hard to stay on that podium spot.
Jeff Hollingsworth will have that most laps led bonus point to go along with his lap led bonus point. The reason why those bonus points mean a lot right now is because the points leader coming into tonight, Jeff Schmeier, with technical issues, unable to start this race. So his points lead has vanished and will flip to the number 97. Unless Hollingsworth has what has happened to him so often already this year happen again, a late race pileup that he gets involved in.
Yeah, wrong place, wrong time. We've seen it a couple times.
He's lost several races that way, namely Iowa being one of them. Kansas another. Trying to avoid it happening here tonight. Butch Davis, Chad Simpson on the front row, Chad Stearns, Jeff Hollingsworth, row 2. As we get set to go back to racing, 7 laps to go. Here from Kansas, green flag is back out. We are running again.
Butch Davis got a pretty good jump there. We'll see if he's going to slide up in front of Chad Simpson there, or if they're going to kind of stay together. And he does just that. Looks like Hollingsworth gets loose almost into the side of Chad Stearns, but everybody stays straight and we stay green.
That's what we were talking about. Hollingsworth, that one mistake he usually makes at this point in the race. It sends him back, and look at Bentley Glazer up into 5th. We were talking earlier in the run about him being absolutely nowhere tonight, but he's up here at the front when it matters.
Yeah, he's found his way up there 8 pit stops later. He has definitely got that car right.
The most pit stops, by the way, of anybody else has been 5, and that's been done by multiple drivers. Will Fletcher is the highest running of the drivers that have taken 5. He's in 14th. 5 to go.
Butch Davis just ran the fastest lap of the race with a 30.92.
Only driver to go sub 31 tonight, during the race at least.
Chris Simard and Chad Simpson battling out for second, with Chad Stearns looking to get up there as well.
These two know each other very well. With SRE do the 46 and the 77. Davis is a second ahead with 4 laps to go. Chris Simard, Chad Simpson, Chad Stearns looking to the inside.
Chad Stearns trying to battle it up to get into that podium position. Has been sitting just off of it most of the night here. Still side by side.
Nothing much sorted out between these two just yet, but right now the race lead is well and truly sorted out. Butch Davis up by 0.8 of a second, 2 laps to go. Boy, Simpson threw a big block on Glazer.
That Glazer looked like he was going to try and take it 3 wide, and Simpson said nope.
Ross Rawlings out there as well. Look who else is coming into this little fight. Lyle Swearingen is there as well. Two laps to go. Coming to the line. White flag in the air for Butch Davis.
Just has to hit his marks and stay consistent there. Looks like Chris Simard is not going to quite be able to close up the gap. He's closed up quite a bit, but I don't think he has enough track to...
Turns 3 and 4. Daytona last week from 25th. Here tonight, back-to-back wins for Butch Davis. And Chad Stearns just beat out Chad Simpson at the line for 3rd.
Heck of a race. Thought we were going to see Hollinsworth up there, but late race mistake has him finish in 8th. Chad Stearns comes back and gets the top 3 there.
What a night it has been. Long, difficult night for some of these guys. And again, for Butch Davis, didn't get the best first lap of qualifying, and then we saw the second lap. Ended up starting in 25th and taking it up for the race win. Mike, Butch Davis is with you now.
Hey, Butch, how is it going, man?
Woo! That is 3 in a row here at WSRL. I will take it.
Yeah, heck of a run here. Didn't get the qualifying effort that you were hoping for, but you were able to work your way through the field. Tell us about how you were able to do that.
Oh yeah, the driver was an idiot in qualifying, first and foremost. Just threw that away, and then it was just kind of try to be methodical, keep the car clean, take my time. worked my way up almost to the top 10 by the first yellow. So, and then from there, it was just kind of keep trying to plod forward, plod forward, plod forward. Um, Obviously, again, pit stops were great. Um, got me out front at the end there. And from there, finally got an opportunity to kind of show the speed that I've had. Um, so, yeah, it was nice, man. Like I said, 3 in a row here at WSRL, 2 in a row over at SRE. So 5 straight league wins for me. I'm pumped, man.
You've definitely had that car where it needed to be when it mattered most. Next week, we look to go to Pocono here in these Xfinity cars. Are you looking forward to that one?
Yeah. I like Pocono. Don't know how well I'll fare in this Xfinity car, but I'm kind of always up for the challenge. I got the backing of my teammates at FBR Motorsports, and they constantly push me to do better, be better, get back to the Butch pre-motorcycle accident. And that's what I'm trying to do and have fun doing it. So, yeah, we're just going to go out there and try to do again like we did tonight, be up there in the mix and, let them know that we're here.
You guys have definitely done that since you showed up. Well, congrats on your win. Anybody you want to thank that you haven't already?
Oh, yeah, just actually want to send another shout out to all my guys at FBR Motorsports. FBR Motorsports Sim Rig Accessories Creation Studio. There you go, Lyle. Thank all my family and, whatnot, and for letting me do this stuff, and my friends that tune in to watch every now and then. Thank you guys up in the booth for putting on a hell of a show. Thank Bob Beltrami and WSRL for putting this on, and woo! Here we go. Let's go try and get number 6 on Thursday, and then 7 on Friday.
Awesome.
So that will be our race winner, Butch Davis. We'll now go to our second place finisher, Chris Simard. And Chris, unfortunately, this is an interview that I've done with you far too many times. You came up just short, ran just out of time. How was the car for you tonight?
The car was good. I know I come up short against Butch all the time. It's we're teammates, but I do want to beat him one of these times. So, but the car was good. I was just taking my time at the beginning because I didn't have much practice, and it felt really good. The track came in there for a little bit. It felt good. So I was having a lot of fun passing cars, and it was a lot of fun. So.
Which line? It looked like guys were all over the place tonight, and typically the inside line better at saving tires, a little bit better here for the long run, but it looked like most guys were trying to gravitate towards the middle tonight.
Yeah, I think the middle was, especially at the start, the middle was good because it didn't get loose as much. You really had to ease it into the corner and jump on the throttle pretty easy, but in the middle it was the lesser of the three evils. You would on the top it would get bumpy, and on the bottom it would get a little loose. So it was the middle seemed to be good for me. So middle towards a little bit towards the top, but I couldn't run the bottom a lot unless I was really paying attention because it was easy to spin it out on the bottom for me. So.
We go to Pocono next here in these Xfinity cars. What are your thoughts going to Pocono?
Well, I am having hip surgery, so I unfortunately won't make it next week. Yeah, so it's going to be a few weeks before I come back. So at least, but I don't know when what the race is in a few weeks, but I'm hoping in a few weeks I'll be able to get back and run. But I'm trying to run as much as I can before I have surgery. So.
Well, fortunately for you, it's Pocono, Homestead, and then a week off, so you're only missing 2 races. Say if it's a month, you'll only be missing 2 races instead of 3. Anyone you want to thank before we let you go tonight?
I just like to thank all my FBR teammates, my wife and son, and Simric Accessory Creation Studios, and everyone that I raced with tonight. They we race hard, we race clean, and that's what I like. It's I try and race everyone with respect, and we did that tonight for the most part. And I know I made a couple of mistakes, but I like the hard, clean racing. So.
All right, Chris. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, you guys up in the booth. I forgot about you guys up in the booth.
No, it's okay.
It's you guys do an awesome job. So I like going back and watching the broadcast. So.
All right, but good luck with your surgery. Congratulations on a second place finish here tonight.
Thank you, Frank. Thanks, guys.
All right, Chad Stearns has not showed up here in the chat, so that will be it for the interviews tonight. A little bit rocky there right before halfway, but we got that nice long run in, really allowed these guys to stretch their legs, allowed the race to play out, and then the caution came in and completely rewrote the script again.
Definitely did that, but it was a heck of a race. We saw pretty much a little bit of everything tonight, so all you can ask when you're up here in the booth and watching at home. It's an entertaining race. These guys do race hard and clean, and for the most part, there was no issues tonight, so it was a good race.
Rather drama-free here this evening as we'll take a look now at the finishing results here. Butch Davis collecting his second straight win here in the series. Chris Samard, Chad Stearns, Chad Simpson, and Bentley Glazer, your top 5. Ross Rawlings, Lyle Swearingen, Jeff Hollingsworth sliding all the way back to 8th. Dennis Fuson, Kyle McCartney rounding out your top 10. Bob Beltrami, Brian Barnes, Ryan Steele, Will Fletcher, and Mike Fisher rounding out your top 15. Top 20 goes to Charles Woods, Christian Bishop, Carl Burke, David Weaver, and Daryl Scott.
21st, James Campbell, Earl Weaver, Dan Bransington in 23rd, Keith Kelman 24th, Wayne Fleet 25th, Dustin Burns, Barry Phil, Eric Woods, Paul Cremery, and Julian Ricci round out the top 30. Then you go back 31st of Angelo Espo, pole setter Justin Michael finished 32nd, Nathan Brown ran a couple laps, and then Jeff Schmeier, Ashley Vendetro, and Fred Williams all did not start.
So that will do it for us here tonight from Chicagoland. For my broadcast partner, Mike DeMoney, I am Frank Marchese. Thank you very much for making us a part of your evening. Mike, thank you very much for pulling double duty tonight. We will see you all next week from Pocono. Good night, everybody.